you going? This is the view out my second floor window. Great sight to see every morning. I don't suspect any parking lots or shopping malls will be built across the road anytime soon. My yellowhorn or Chinese flowering chestnut is in full bloom. I've been taking on a section of the neighboring garden I call the Sky House Jungle, adjacent to my backyard garden, because it's so close to my garden and has been abandoned for several years. The easiest way to reclaim garden from weeds is sheet mulching. With a quick scything, a layer of biodegradable cardboard, and some straw mulch, in only a week or two I can plant starts directly into this ground. I hate unnecessary hard work, and there's nothing harder than working up soil to prep a bed by hand with a shovel or fork. And this method is far superior to a rototiller, which would just cut up all these grass roots into smaller pieces and damage the soil profile. By the following season, it'll be workable garden soil as the mulch completely smothers the weeds over the course of one season. I did the upper portion of this garden last year and grew tomatoes and peppers there. This season, I'm planting beans. Every spring, I thin the pears on my pear trees to encourage larger fruit and reduce pest damage. Instead of having many small fruit right next to each other, only one fruit per cluster is left to grow big. I got a load of composted cow manure from a local farmer, and I've been adding it to my garden near my house and to the beds in my vineyard. Our land has been so degraded by conventional agriculture in the past that it needs improvement every year to bring it back to a healthy growing medium for food production. For years, I've been interplanting vegetables and flower bulbs with my grapes. All that space that normally goes unused in a vineyard produces other crops in my vineyard. Cucumbers, squash, and melons do well without fencing in the vineyard, and I can rotate them on a larger scale to keep insect pests off them. My iris beds are flourishing between the rows of grapes, and soon I'll have bulbs of the first varieties available for sale on my website, hardcoresustainable.com. My comfrey as a living mulch experiment continues in the vineyard. It's worked perfectly, and I've been gradually increasing my plantings to cover the rest of the vineyard. This first planting has proven that comfrey will do the job of overpowering the grasses within the rows of grapes and give me an easier plant to scythe down. This will save me days of time mowing with a scythe. The comfrey plant's leaves mulch an area about 3 to 4 feet wide between the grapevines. This just reaches the swath of grass I'm able to mow with a tractor mower. I don't know, which do you think is better? Spraying chemical herbicides to keep the grass and weeds down, or growing a plant that does the same thing but doesn't compete for water and nutrients like the grass is easier to mow, and provides abundant flowers for local pollinators? Although I think I actually saw a bumblebee crying when I scythed down the comfrey, I only do it a couple times a season, and it still provides plenty of forage the bees would otherwise not have. So stop your crying, bee. As far as I know, mine is the only vineyard using this method. Maybe the idea will spread. I don't have any kind of patent on it. And isn't gardening all about sharing the seeds and the ideas? Our Dancing Rabbit Dairy Co-op does rotational grazing with goats and dairy cows on our land. This time the goats were put in the tree line next to the vineyard. In a few days, they'll strip all the leaves off most of the lower branches of trees and bushes, even pests like poison ivy. This is abundant forage and will be turned into milk and other dairy products sold within the village. This is one of the first years I've gotten a significant harvest of honeyberries from my bushes. It's taken them a while to get to this point, partly because I've moved them a few times, and partly because rabbits do a lot of damage to the bushes if they aren't protected over winter. But the shrubs are getting big, and I got at least a bowl full of berries this season. They're definitely a winner as far as flavor and production, and they don't appear to have any pests yet, and the birds don't seem interested in them. Yet. Still a lot more of it coming on this one. So odd shaped, like look at that one. Not a ton, but these bushes are getting bigger and bigger all the time. The season at Dancing Rabbit Ecovillage means programs, such as the Natural Building Workshop being put on by the DR nonprofit, the Center for Sustainable and Cooperative Culture. This time people are coming from all over to learn natural building techniques and help construct a new cob wall near the entrance to the Ecovillage. This wall went up quickly and adds so much aesthetic interest to the space. and I'll give visitors a taste of what Dancing Rabbit is like on their first glimpse of the village. And sometimes our workshops are timed perfectly to stick around and attend our visitor program, a 1 to 2 week orientation to Dancing Rabbit for those potentially wanting to live here. Check out our educational workshops and other programs at dancingrabbit.org and come see Dancing Rabbit Ecovillage firsthand, and maybe we'll run into each other on your visit. If you want to see more videos about how I live simply and sustainably in North America's most radical ecovillage, subscribe to the channel today. Also follow me on Instagram and Facebook for even more content. Become a patron to support my channel. My patrons get first viewing of all my videos and can message me privately.